Good evening. I call this Town of Adams Board of Selectmen meeting to order, Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. This meeting is being recorded. If anyone in the audience who would like to film this meeting, please inform the chair now. Hearing none. Moving forward. Next, could you all please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just to remind everyone, we do have a public hearing this evening at 6:10. And when we approach that time, we will break away from any discussion that we're having and have the public hearing and then get back to the agenda. Okay, approval of minutes. We have 3 sets. The first one is May 22nd, 2024. What is the board's pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented for May 22nd, 2024.
Motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. The second set is from June 5th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented for June 5th, 2024.
Motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous decision. And finally, June 18th, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented for June 18th, 2024.
Motion by Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Ann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous decision. So right now we're at 6:02. We have 8 minutes before the public hearing. We will jump to new business on the agenda. The first item, the presenters are not here yet. They are close, so we will get back to that as soon as we can. Jumping to new business B, licensing requests. The first one on the agenda is review and approve one-day liquor license application for the Firehouse Cafe, 47 Park Street, Adams, to serve at the Adams Theater, 27 Park Street, Adams, on July 20th, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for the Firehouse Cafe at 47 Park Street, Adams, to serve at the Adams Theater at 27 Park Street on Saturday, July 20th, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Motion by Ann. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. Next, we have review and approve the one-day liquor license application for the Firehouse Cafe, 47 Park Street, Adams, to serve at the Adams Theater, 27 Park Street, Adams, on Friday, July 26, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
I'll make a motion to approve the one-day liquor license application for the Firehouse Cafe, 47 Park Street, Adams, to serve at the Adams Theater, 27 Park Street, Adams, on Friday, July 26, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Motion by Ann. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Excuse me. Please be quiet in the audience. Thank you. 3, review and approve change of officers for Gerings Verin. Is that close enough?
Sure. Doing business as Mountain Club.
Doing business as, we all know, the Mountain Club.
Yeah.
6 Anthony Street, Adams.
I'll make a motion to approve the change of officers for Briggs Vereen, DBA Mountain Club, 6 Anthony Street, Adams, Mass.
Motion by Ann. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Second by Christine. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved, none. Unanimous decision. Disapproved, none. Unanimous decision. Next, review and approve annual public entertainment license for, well, we did that. Well, again, it's for Gehrings Verin, doing business as the Mountain Club, 6 Anthony Street in Adams. This is for public entertainment.
I will make a motion to approve the annual public entertainment license for Gehrings Verin, DBA Mountain Club, 6 Anthony Street, Adams, Mass.
Motion by Ann, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine, discussion.
I just wanted to point out to the board that this is adding to the annual public entertainment license the automatic amusement devices. That was not on the annual license when they did this in December, but they have added that.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous decision. Item C, request to suspend parking control.
We have, nope, you forgot the last one.
5,
Okay.
5.
the auto dealership license.
Oh, yes. Mostly very important item. Review and approve Class 1 auto dealership application for Haddad Auto Group, 224 Columbia Street, Adams. What is the board's pleasure?
I will go ahead and make a motion to approve the Class 1 auto dealership application for Haddad Auto Group to operate at 224 Columbia Street in Adams.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ann. Jay, this is McAndrews King.
It is, yep.
you have
Mr. Maloney is here, I believe, with counsel.
This is John Buxton.
Yep.
He's,
Come on up, Dan, if you'd like.
Yeah,
The chairman's pleasure.
sure.
Big news for the community.
It's okay if we go over. Yeah.
And while they're coming up, I do just want to let the board know that I did submit all of the application materials to our town council. They reviewed it and they did let me know that it all is in order and they are comfortable with you all if you decide to approve it this evening.
with John Buxton from Haddad Motor Group, and he's the chief operating officer of the company, and he can answer any questions you might have, but just to summarize some quick things is that we are all staying there, all our employees, myself included. If you look at it as a simple sign change, that's kind of what's going to happen. There'll be some improvements. They've got some resources, and they're going to spend some money on our building and do a great job and sell more cars. And we're probably going to have a few more employees before all is done. So, but John is here. If you have anything you want to discuss or ask him, with me.
Any questions from the board?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to really thank Dan, going way back to Old McAndrews and Rick King. I remember as a young child, it was a used car lot to begin with. And it's another institution here in Adams that I hope that Haddad Motors stays there and makes it a home for a long period of time. That's something that's beyond our pale, because private business, they can do what they want because they know that they have to have a profit. But I think in town, it's part of the town fiber to have a new car dealership. I think it's part of a small town, and we're not a small town to have a car dealership. We have used car lots and that type of thing, which is geared for people within this area. That works out well. But I'm just hoping that Haddad Motors stays a good neighbor, as McAndrews King did for so many years. And once again, that's always up to the owner, but it'd be another blow for this community if all of a sudden there's another lot with nothing there. So, and I want to once again thank you, Dan, too, for your kindness in different ways, not just for the car lot, but for what you do for the community.
We appreciate the comments, Joe. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're deserving of them.
And good. Well, thank you for having us here today. George Haddad, the owner, wanted to be here. Unfortunately, couldn't. Some of you may be familiar with Haddad Auto Group. So they've been around for 90 years in Pittsfield. George is a third-generation owner. So we're excited to have the opportunity to carry on the legacy of McAndrews King. As Dan said, we're planning to keep the whole team there. I think George, of any auto group owner you could have, understands what it's like to be part of a community. He's very active down at Pittsfield. We hope to carry on that same legacy here. And just, do with the community what Dan and his team have done. And like I said, our intent is to keep the team there. And maybe bring some more resources in terms of internet and some other things. And there's a lot more demands on a small auto group owner now from the factories, whether it's electric vehicles and investments that make it really tough for someone like Dan to compete on a level playing field. So we'll bring some of that to the table. And if we're approved, we're excited to be part of the community. We're going to keep the store there. And like Dan said, it will amount to a sign change and some other stuff. So thank you.
And just one other last question. Are you going to, your dealership going to stay with the brands that are their GMC and what McAndrews King sells now?
Yeah, so there's going to be no changes. So we're going to represent the GMC brand, and that's it. There's no intent to bring any other type of franchise in, and we'll continue to sell used vehicles as well.
Okay,
and then service.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is just one quick question, I'm sorry, is the GM sold anywhere else in the county, or is it just in Adams?
Right now it's only in Adams. So there was a point, Berkshire GMC way down in South County in Sheffield, and that point is going to no longer, it was selling only a few units a month, so GMC is going to have that point closed.
Okay.
And so if anything, that will help the business here, not that they're that close geographically, but it will give us, GM more of a presence because we'll be the only one in, out in Western Mass.
Pretty much the exclusive GMC store between now will be Sheffield to Bennington and beyond that. So we've got a good area to work with.
So you want a GMC, you come to Adams. That will be
All right.
the motto.
Like it. Any other questions? Christine?
So change is sometimes hard for folks, so the name change may come as a shock to people. So if you could give us a time frame as when we might see that, if everything goes smoothly tonight and it's approved, when would you see some signage changing and name changing so we can try to notify the public?
So I think we would see it, so the close date with the manufacturer, if things went well tonight, would be July 31st.
Okay.
So that's the transaction. So you figure operations usually takes a day or two to start rolling. So figure August 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. When the actual nameplate change, I have to see. We don't have a sign company on the ready to run it in there, but let's say at some point in August. I know there's an opportunity for like a ribbon cutting and an announcement type ceremony. So we'll, our marketing director and a community director will reach out to you as appropriate, depending, the outcome tonight, to set that up. So I would say in August we'll start seeing some of that. And transition like that, like you said, is a big step for the employees, especially, Dan has a very loyal team there. So usually it takes about a 30-day thing to slowly integrate it, so no one's shocked. But I think that's when the change will start in August.
So in August. And I would just encourage you to work through Bree to get a ribbon cutting scheduled. And
that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at a date that works for everybody. So
that's great.
nice to put a face with an email. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so you heard the name Haddad, the name George Haddad, and those aren't immediate relatives to you, correct?
I am a Haddad.
Oh.
I am Ann Haddad Bartlett. My brother is George Haddad. We used to run the Red Carpet Restaurant until we retired in 2019. We are, as I'll let everyone know, we are very distantly related to George Haddad of the third generation.
Okay.
But we have no interest that comes from them. I do have a car from them, but I didn't get a deal. But I just want to note that, because people will say, oh, George Haddad that. And I'll just because it's a funny story, we were at a function in Pittsfield one night. I forgot what it was for, and they had someone come, we want to have George Haddad come up to the mic. 5 of them showed up. That's how many in our little world are named George Haddad. So it gets kind of confusing. But I wish Mr. Haddad a lot of luck in this endeavor, and we're glad to have you come into our town.
Great, well, thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, we need to move along for the public hearing. So we do have a motion and a second, correct? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous, and thank you.
Great, thank
Thank you
you.
both.
Dan.
Okay, let's move back. Time, we're a few minutes late. We're going to move back to item 4 on the agenda, the public hearing.
Could I say something important?
No, I'm sorry.
Time sensitive,
No, I'm sorry. The public hearing is,
extremely important.
the public hearing is at 6:10, and this is to review and approve liquor license transfer from Myrtle Street Supermarket to, can you please sit down, please? Please sit down. Linked to Damon LLC, located at 1 Myrtle Street, Adams, Mass. We have a motion to go into public hearing.
I'll make a motion to go into the public hearing to review the liquor license transfer from Myrtle Street Supermarket, Inc. to Danman LLC, located at 1 Myrtle Street, Adams, Mass.
We have a motion, Christine. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous. Okay, you're up. All right, let's go, start with you. Are you good?
No, Bree can certainly go over the procedural process for this.
Yes, welcome folks to our transfer of our liquor license. I believe this is I came on board halfway through one before, so this is my first whole one, so very fun. And Christine, please correct me at any point if I'm wrong. So it's a pretty straightforward set of documents. What you all are seeing is a store that had a liquor license, now have someone else manage that liquor license. Same premises, same type of license. No, very similar to the auto dealership that we just dealt with. No huge discernible change to our residents here. And all of your paperwork did appear in order, which is lovely. So if it's approved tonight, my next step is to go online and upload it through the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission portal. And then we'll make sure that everything is good on their end, and then you'll see an issuance of that liquor license at a later meeting.
Could you gentlemen please state your name and show your business, please?
Good evening, everyone. Andrew Upton, attorney for the applicant.
Okay.
And with me is Dan DeSantis, the proposed owner of the new business, and Mike O'Grady, the proposed manager of record on the liquor license. I feel like Bree summarized things pretty well there. Just to give you a little color to the concept, it is as she said. This is a business opportunity for Dan and for Mike to come in and take over, but we do not foresee any changes. The hours, the operation, the appearance, they have both worked with the landlord, who's the owner of the supermarket and will be the former owner in the past. They have a good business relationship. The supermarket still wants to have liquor there because it drives customers and it's an amenity for the business. And these guys see it as a business opportunity. So hopefully, if approved, when they get in, citizens, consumers, government officials, the police, everyone will see really no difference in the operations. But with that, we're certainly glad to answer any questions.
All right, so since this is a public hearing, anyone from the audience who has a question for these gentlemen? Okay. Can I have a motion to come out of?
I have a question
Yours,
in
sir.
public hearing.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I did have a question, and Andrew, maybe you can answer this. So in addition to the transfer of license, is there also a pledge of collateral for inventory and stock, or?
Let me see. I don't believe that there is.
Okay.
And, yeah, no, we have not checked that off on the forms, and that's not part of the transaction.
Okay. Dan was shaking his head no anyway, so I was like, okay. But just wanted to check, because that would have to be part of any motion that is made, that we would also include.
Sure.
So, okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Any further questions from the board before we get out of public session to deliberate and vote?
Yeah, I just have, could you explain this a little bit better to me, what is happening here? This is at the Adams Hometown Market, right? And the Bizzotto family that owns it now have the license. And what is, I don't know, I'm a little confused about this and why there's a change, and what, if any, difference will this make whatsoever?
Okay, well, to answer the second question first, we don't think it'll make any difference. Same store, same stuff, same location, same hours, same parking, everything. The Bozzatos and the supermarket people are getting out of the liquor business, and it's an opportunity for Dan to get in. So they want to be out of the business, but they still want to have liquor in the store, because it brings in a lot of customers, and people say, you know, can we have liquor? It's good for the business. So good opportunity for these guys, good opportunity for the seller to maintain the status quo for the supermarket business. And in the bigger picture, really no changes.
Now, you're saying liquor is, right now, it's only beer and wine, so they're looking for a license to add liquor?
No, the
Well, he's
application
using the
says,
word liquor.
the
Okay.
application says
All right.
wine and malt beverages.
Okay,
Right, as is. What's there now will be there if we're approved. No changes.
But this does not include the store, the grocery part of it. They will just be the liquor part?
Correct.
Okay.
and I'd like to say on the side that we welcomed the Adams Hometown Market with open arms. It's very important for this community, as I mentioned earlier, about having a car dealership and to have a supermarket. And the previous owners, I won't mention who owned it, kind of bailed on us and put us in a real dark hole for a while. And I really like to thank your group, the Bizzotos, for coming in. And I know I shop there quite a bit, and I know Mr. Pico really well. I speak to him often, and I think they're doing a great job there.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Any further questions before we exit the public hearing? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to come out of public hearing and return to regular session.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, unanimous. We are back to regular session. Okay, discussion in regards to the license itself.
I did have a question. Can you pronounce the entity name for me? Is it just Dan Man? Dan Man?
Man.
Okay.
Named after Dan.
Dan, I made that assumption, but my 5th grade teacher told me about assuming, so wanted to make sure. With that, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion as the off-premises, Section 15 license, here, transfer of license for a wine and malt beverage license for 1 Myrtle Street is in order. I would like to make the motion to approve the license transfer from Myrtle Street Supermarket, Inc. to Dan Man LLC, located at 1 Myrtle Street, to operate with an off-premises Section 15 package store wine and malt beverage license.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Further discussion? Now, is this the only store that the owners are going to be removing the beer and wine or any alcohol? Or is this is the only store they sell it at, or is there anything else you can
We're
provide?
not, I mean, we don't look at it as removing, we look at it as preserving.
Preserving.
And Dan coming in, so customers will still have that option
Okay,
when they shop.
okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to say too, when first came in for a license, I was quite happy to know that your Munson store had malt and beer license, because I think it made it a lot easier for us, or at least for me particularly, because you would already have that within your community in the state of Massachusetts, because we had a lot of pushback from local owners about, how it would affect their business.
Right, right. To be clear, Dan is also buying the Munson store,
Okay?
so he'll be fully integrated with the Mizuno supermarkets.
Just the way it's been, we don't want to change anything.
Yeah, and that one has no plans.
Well,
to
we
make
have
any
no
changes.
say over that. I'm just saying how it worked out well for us because a precedent was set.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, none, unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much.
Welcome to Adams.
All right, Town Administrator Green, I think we're ready to go back on the agenda
Yep.
to new business A, presentation by and selection of Ches Hospitality Group LLC as proposed food service concessionaire at the Greylock Glen Outdoor Center. I'm going to hand it over to the Town Administrator.
I'll hand it over to Executive Director Mike Nguyen. Mike will set the stage for us and make the introductions.
Good evening. I'm excited to be here before you this evening. As you are aware, earlier this year, we had to conclude the original request for proposals for a restaurant operator at the Greylock Glen without any formal submitted proposals. When we closed that request for proposal, or RFP, I had just come on with the town of Adams. I wasn't familiar with the original RFP in great detail, so as I familiarized myself with it, I understood that there was some things about both the RFP and the potential operation that I didn't understand. So I decided to undertake a information gathering and investigative request, and I reached out with the assistance of community development to all of the restaurant groups or interested operators who had either requested the original request for proposals and or participated in a previous site visit to see if they would be interested or willing to provide me with some feedback on the RFP. I was shocked and amazed at how gracious people were with their time and how generous they were. And so nearly everybody that I contacted agreed to at least speak with me by phone, if not to arrange a video conference, and in a couple cases to visit with me on site to point out some of their concerns. So earlier this spring, under that information, I, with the assistance of staff, rewrote the RFP to kind of broaden the audience that may be interested in it, and we sent it back out this spring. We found out shortly after we put it out that with the Central Register there was some confusion with the dates, so we had to extend it till June 20th. On June 20th, at close of business, we had one formal written proposal from Shea Hospitality Group, but because of Massachusetts procurement law, we had to complete the procurement process, which included an interview with representatives of the group, and that interview had to be conducted by a selection committee. The selection committee was created by Town Administrator Green, consisted of himself, Donna Season, Laura Brennan from the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, and myself. We interviewed Shea Hospitality Group on Thursday. It was a dynamic and interesting conversation. They're very enthusiastic. You have your proposal in front of you. You have my written recommendation, or the selection committee's written recommendation, and we have representatives of Shea Hospitality Group here to represent their proposal this evening. I'm happy to go over any of my thoughts or recommendations, or to simply introduce them at your pleasure.
Could you have,
Through the chair, I just have a question. Early on in your discussion, you said that you found things that you thought needed to be changed. What were some of the things that you saw as you hashed through this that you thought needed to be changed?
There was some language and some terminology in the RFP that may have been intimidating or limiting, that probably had they been discussed during negotiations, we would have come to agreement on it anyway. But in some of my conversations with some of the restaurant groups, having it as a requirement or a preference in the RFP, given the time constraints, they just didn't think they could comply, and so they didn't submit. So we generalized it and put them in as preferences or items of interest instead of requirements, And even though we only got one written submission, I had conversations with a couple other groups who, just due to the summer tourism season and other commitments they have in Berkshires, the timing didn't work out, but they were much more attracted to the more generalized RFP.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just wondering if you could bring up the representatives of the,
Absolutely, my pleasure.
introduce themselves.
Pleasure
So,
to introduce Mark Sparks and Regina Spofford of Shea Hospitality Group.
do you mind coming up to the podium so the community can see? The others?
Good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Mark Sparks. I'm the general manager of Shea Hospitality Group.
Hi, I'm Regina Spafford. I'm the assistant general manager of Shea's Hospitality Group.
Could you tell us a little bit about your company? Is this the only thing you're doing, or is there more? And I've read there is more,
Sure.
but I'd rather have you say it than myself.
Absolutely. A common saying in our company is the answer is yes. Now what's the question as it relates to hospitality? We absolutely love what we do.
Glad you said that now, Mark.
We are a hospitality group that is rooted in management agreements, chiefly with municipalities throughout Connecticut and Massachusetts. We find a lot of enjoyment in working and partnering with municipalities and managing, whether it be golf courses, concession stands on beaches, things like that. We also have a lot of experience in catering, both corporate catering, social catering, weddings, nonprofits, all of those wonderful things. We work when others play. That's another common saying in our company. We're a company that's growing. As a result of COVID, we have changed our company, the dynamics of our company, whereas previously we may have operated single units, we now operate multiple units, and we have an event venue. The Berkshires is someplace that we've been catering over the last few years, and we have seen the gem that the Berkshires has, and especially what you have right at the foot of the mountain up there. So we're excited to potentially partner and make this a great opportunity to join in on the ground floor and to kind of have a blank canvas and see what we can make this and attract many, many people.
Okay, anything else? You good?
Well, I think he's shared it all.
All right.
It's not often that I don't have anything to say.
Any further questions from the board?
Where are some of the venues in the Berkshire County that you catered?
Sure. So there's Blue Meadows, I believe.
Yep,
Is,
so Blue Meadows on a couple of occasions, and then at family homes. So we do off-site catering. We can either go to an existing venue, or we can set up in a field somewhere. And so on several occasions, that's exactly what we've been called to do. And so I think those are the most common.
The mitzvah, was it a ski resort?
Oh, yes. Is that Berkshire's? Ski, not Sundown, I'm sorry.
Ski Butternut?
Butternut?
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, that's the other one. So several different venues.
So what is your plan, let's say you're chosen this evening, right? So what is your plan to start things off? Because the date that we've been looking to opening is the Friday prior to Columbus Day. So it will be available to that weekend? Because it's a major, we have festivals, we have a lot going on that weekend. It'd be really nice if you could be there serving food.
We've tentatively marked some things on our calendar. So yes, assuming that everything goes well, we stand ready to serve. I believe the plan is kind of a slow ramp up, a lot of grab and go, fast casual experiences. Some of the things that really excite us about the community and the things that we can bring are maybe themed dinners and reasons for people to come to the venue, but really beginning with more fast casual grab and go and kind of seeing how we can put together a great experience.
And offering on that weekend almost a tasting of sorts or a sampling of sorts of our foods and services so that we can entice the public and increase interest in the fact that we're there. So.
Good. So, Town Administrator Green, what is the next step? If the approval goes through tonight, what is the next step for this group?
So the board's job tonight is to ensure that CHG has the capability and the ability to execute the town's vision at the Greylock Glen Outdoor Center, which was also performed by the interview committee, and you have Mike's memo that spells all that out. So they're in front of you tonight because they can do that. So the board just has to affirm that vote. From there, we would sit down with them and legal counsel, simultaneously sitting down with Mass Audubon as well, and we're going to develop those two use agreements, whatever legal structure they take, a lease, a license, whatever that may be. And that provides the framework for what the expectations are, what the financial arrangements are between the town and the vendor, and go from there. Once that document has been crafted, just like with Mass Audubon, the Board of Selectmen will get that document and be able to review it and approve it. I think it's important that everybody knows that this is really a test, it's an experiment. We took great pains last Thursday to be sure that Mark and Regina and their team knows that there's no set expectation for what this is going to look like on day one. What it may appear to be on day one may be very different from what it looks like 6, 9 months, a year after. So the idea is just to come up with the legal arrangement with them so that there is a framework so that the town's expectation, its ability to generate economic revenue from the outdoor center is being met by a provider. And I can assure you from talking with them Thursday, Laura Brennan feels this way. They're very enthusiastic about it. They have some great ideas.
Yes.
We don't want to necessarily give away all those ideas just yet, but Mark and Regina made it very clear to the selection committee that they understood the Greylock Glen. They understand the Berkshires. They understand what this means to the town of Adams, and they look forward to the challenge. So that's the next step.
Next step.
It's exciting.
And
Great.
I believe you will be looking for a alcohol license?
Yes, I think that is integral too.
Okay, and we do have some available, correct?
Yep.
Okay. All right, what is the pleasure of the board?
May I comment or have questions? Yeah. I looked at your portfolio, and I was happy to see that you went up the ladder from a waiter to a manager and then to an owner.
Yes, sir.
But within my purview of looking at it, I noticed that in 2023, the property that you had your banquet hall was auctioned.
Yes.
Because you filed for bankruptcy.
Yes.
And that somewhat bothers me a little bit. I mean, went for $1.4 million. And then prior to that, OMS Hospitality, I think under your name in 2012, creditors came and they needed money from the group, and you didn't have the money to pay. I don't know if you were involved with OMS Hospitality, and that was in 2012. So that kind of bothers me a little bit, that, you know, you've gone through bankruptcy, and this to Adams is a big thing. This restaurant is going to be one of the key, if not the key, for success of the Greylock Glen building that people here have waited for years and years and years. And it just, I can't understand, living in Adams my whole life, that with the opportunity that was given to people in the restaurant business, with the state-of-the-art stuff that's been put up there and all the, you know, time that was put in that part of it, that we couldn't get many people to look at it. And perhaps, like Mike said, it was a matter of, you know, there was too many specifics, and sometimes when you write a lot of things, people get nervous because they don't think they can live up to the expectations. But you know, 2023, that's only like last year.
Sure.
And so, you know, I mean, you can respond, that's fine. I mean, I'm not holding that against you, other than I always make sure that I look at things before I come to, and because this business has been going on for a long time, I'm not sure if it's Youssef, is that how you pronounce it? Youssef, J-O-S-E-F?
Youssef.
Yeah, right.
Yes. That's
And I mean, and also something that bothers me, most of your work has been in the catering business, and you have places, but they're only, you know, they're seasonal. You're at a golf course in Simsbury, Connecticut, and in the town of Yarmouth, you have a concession stand at Bass River and very high golf courses, and then you have a little concession stand at Smuggler's Beach. And I don't know, you know, if that kind of stuff gives you real credence to run what I believe has to be a year-round, ongoing, you know, restaurant. And, you know, I'm just tepid about it, and because I think I have the right to be, and I'm going to just stop there. So go right ahead, Mark. It's all right to call you Mark?
Absolutely, so,
Okay.
so call me late for dinner. So Chez Joseph was operated by OMS Hospitality. Yes, I was a member of OMS Hospitality. The business that we operated, CHG Hospitality, Chez Hospitality for short. OMS Hospitality, Chez Hospitality, two totally different companies, two totally different staffs, two totally different. I was the common member of both. I can't speak to for legality and so on and so forth, but OMS Hospitality operated a single-use event venue that was closed as a result of COVID.
480 days.
Yes, so that was the way that the board decided, and that's what that. If you understand that business, you understand that that business was an institution in its area. We were all sorry to see it go. But again, we did what we needed to do as requested by the governor of Massachusetts to stay closed for over, as Regina said, over 400 days. Unfortunately, there's some, that was a result of that.
Did you try to get funds that were available to keep it open? Because during COVID, there was a lot of chance for businesses, if they could prove certain parameters, that they would be getting monies for.
So as a Phoenix, we rose, and I formed my own hospitality group as we were going into COVID, Chez Hospitality. That's what we stand before you as, Chez Hospitality Group now.
Mark, go through that story that you went through us about how you had the staff in that room. Go through
So we had a decision to make in COVID to either close the business, everyone walk away, and
Mark sat us down at a table. It was shortly a few weeks after we closed. We had laid off all of the staff. Yes, there were many attempts to salvage Chez Joseph. But unfortunately, as he stood before us, he said that we could either all go our separate ways and choose to see each other perhaps at holidays or somewhere along the lines in the future years, or we could try to pivot. We used that word a lot in COVID, but it actually turned into very late nights, many nights, where we just started to throw everything against the wall and see what stuck. So we worked harder in COVID than ever to pivot, build an entirely new company. And as the hard work began to pay off, we found more and more opportunity that we couldn't even believe was out there, and was more in tune with the future that we are living in than, unfortunately, Chez Joseph had come from. You know, we're going into a world where people just want things in a different way, and we were beginning to be able to provide that service in a different way. And so we found it was actually just time to make different decisions, and that's what Mark did. He made those hard decisions. So
I am a former restaurant owner. We used to run the restaurant here in Adams. When we were fortunate enough that we retired on December 31st of 2019, not knowing what the future was bringing us. And when we found out some of the restrictions and everything, like we would have had to go down to 25% capacity. Well, we only had a smaller restaurant. And we said, oh my gosh, we would have been laying off everybody, and it would have been the four of us, and we were all ready to retire, and maybe our cook. So I know that you had to experience a lot of difficulty because the people weren't going out.
Absolutely.
It just weren't.
One of the fun facts, I call it a fun fact, I define positivity in it, is at 25% capacity. But if you look at the restrictions for banquet facilities, we were nearly 10, 25, I think we got up to 50 for a week or so.
for almost a year, 10 people in our bank facility that could fit 15.
So we could have more people in this room than we could have in a 15. So we were just, I won't belabor that, we were just disproportionately.
We were considered a concert hall.
I'm just saying that I think, I applaud you that you just went forward and said, I'm not quitting.
No.
I'm going to come out of this somehow. Because I know it's a hard thing.
We call it grit, and, you know, I don't begrudge anyone who decided not to stick with this industry. But I do support anyone who is giving it a go, as we are. It's been a tough few years, but we don't think about that. We think about the future and what the future holds.
And as for restaurants, you know, Mark actually did also own a restaurant prior to taking over Chez Joseph, a full year-round restaurant before coming back to where his heart was. So it called him back. But even still to this day, I mean, we operate a food store, a prepared meals food store that is year-round. Our catering business, we have contracts with Amazon, contracts with OMG, UConn, Adams College, multiple different universities and corporations that we service on a daily basis. Amazon twice daily, 7 days a week. We also provide the restaurant service, and actually seasonality can be its own host of challenges that has really improved our business model, because we actually have to open almost a new restaurant every year. All new staff that get fully trained every year. Actually 3 waves of staff, but I won't bore you with why that is. But essentially looking at everything with fresh eyes year after year and starting from scratch. So it's actually created some wonderful standards that we've been able to adopt that allow us to open up a restaurant in a more efficient way than I think it would be if it were just open it once and then go from there. So it's definitely...
As for the town of Adams, we know that there's a lot of great restaurateurs around here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and I look forward to supporting all of them. I also look forward to working with all of them in any way, shape, or form, as well as educational groups, whether it be the colleges or the high schools, as we do now. And we're just itching to, because that's where the next great talent is, right? So I do recognize your comment, and I want you to know that we are looking forward to supporting and working with area talent.
Christine?
Regina, thank you for bringing up the seasonality of the business. And what I found attractive about your response to the RFP was your portfolio, in that you have worked within seasons. You know, the seasonality of tourism is difficult for all restaurateurs to understand, that you do have to adapt with the season if you are going to be if that's what you're basing your business on, is what season you're in. I also appreciated in the operations plan your response to what the town of Adams was looking for in the cafe. So the made-to-order sandwiches and items there. But the grab and go was a fantastic addition here. I love that you've added some protein packs and snack cups and protein shakes, which I think will do well with our outdoor enthusiasts who are up there and might want to grab something after a hike. And I think our families who come to visit are going to enjoy those pre-order packages. Picnic pack or box lunch sounds great. I might skip out on the s'mores kit, but I understand some people would love it. I know. But
See, we thought the s'mores kit was, I'm surprised.
And the blanket,
dessert doesn't speak to me. It's okay. That's just me, though. But you were really thoughtful in your response, the catering options that you're going to offer, and how you would utilize that space. And so I thought that it was a solid response, and I appreciate you sticking with it. I appreciate you having those conversations with our director about what could work, and so forth. So thank you, and thanks for putting together. There was a sample menu, so to our chairman's point, he can order off of this catering menu for the October event and have a really nice event on Friday, October 11th. So
Looking forward to it, absolutely.
yeah, so thanks. Thank you, Mark.
The goal was to appeal to all of the different types of guests that are going to come to the Glen. And we understand that it's going to be a wide variety, but we want to be of service for all of those different types. So whether it be the person going up to hike, whether the family afterwards, or the people coming for the weekend that want to, enjoy at different times. It's not going to be just a dinner spot. it's really going to have to figure out a way to service all the different types of people that are going to come through.
Great.
Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, I was just wondering, was this what you were alluding to?
Yes,
Well, I just had this thrown on my desk.
tonight.
Tonight.
Before the meeting.
Yeah, right.
I got here a little early and I read
So
it.
you had a chance to read it.
And was provided to you digitally, I think,
Yeah.
very early Monday morning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we
Okay.
had it.
okay. We're in kind of, what's that, Christine?
I didn't say anything.
No, you didn't, but kind of a little smirk there.
Okay, let's move on, please.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of wondering about your menu as far as within the town of Adams. As you well know, I'm sure all business people look at the demographics, they look at the economic parameters within a community, and we rank quite low in Berkshire County for income for the average family. And will you be able to gear your menu so that family can go up with their children and have, you know, a good meal, but not have to take out their checkbooks? In other words, have you figured out a type of menu and specials and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I think indirectly, to answer that question, yes, we have a good understanding and background rooted in multiple communities and multiple, you know, socioeconomic and so on and so forth. So it doesn't, and not everything has to cost $1 million. It tastes like $1 million, and I'm sure we can satisfy every single person who's coming through the Glen with something. I'm confident that we have a varied menu.
We strive to operate a business that is going to, again, be of service to provide the quality, the freshness, and the type of cuisine that everyone wants, but also while operating a profitable business model. So we operate based on cost, we operate within our margins, and we do not take the approach of, let's price it at this, and then let's, you know, slash prices to seem like we just don't take that approach. We very much take the approach of transparency, which is embedded in our company, where we are going to price it as we can to make sure that we will be here 2 years from now so that we can continue to service the Glen. I think that's the best way to approach cost when it comes to this conversation.
Yeah, and then my last question would probably be to Jay. What is the thinking about the lease agreement? How many years?
It's going to be up to Attorney Saban to recommend. I want to say the RFP was a minimum of 5, I think was in there. And it's important to get Mark and Regina's, you know, take on that in terms of them to allow to expand that business, change that business around. We don't want it too long and we don't want it too short. So we got to find the sweet spot. And Attorney Saban will recommend that to us.
Okay, all right, do we have a motion from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the selection of Shea Hospitality Group as the owner-operator of the food service operation to be operated within the Greylock Glen Outdoor Center per the proposal in response to RFP number 24-008, and to authorize the town administrator and special counsel to act as negotiators on behalf of the town of Adams.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any further discussion? I'm glad you're looking forward, because we're looking forward, and looking forward to working together with you. Up to the Glen.
In true partnership.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm abstaining without prejudice. I'm abstaining from the vote.
And we have one abstention. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I want to make sure I get back to the right place. So we're back.
C.
Business C. Thank you. Request to suspend parking control meter collection for the duration of the Park Street repaving project. Jay?
Eamon, Hunter, do you want to, this is all you. Do you want to comment on it, or you want me to just do it? I got it. Park Street's going to be repaved sometime in early August. We anticipate one day that's going to be milled Second day is going to be paved. Of course, weather, Eamon can't control the weather as much as I think he'd like to, so we're not 100% sure we'll be able to execute on those days. Nonetheless, during that period, we recognize that there'll be some impact to those folks that park along Park Street. So we just wanted the opportunity tonight for the board to vote to suspend parking control and meter collection during that time frame, so that people are free to park wherever they would like, wherever they can park their car. And the police department will obviously be respective of what's happening on Park Street. So no different than what we do during the holiday season is being asked of the board.
I'm going to ask a question. I thought it was going to be no parking on the street at all while they were doing this.
Yes, that's accurate, but there's meters elsewhere, Summer Street, East Maple
You're
Street.
just doing it townwide, not just on
Yes.
Park Street. Okay,
Yes.
that would make
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, anywhere there's a meter, don't bother putting in the quarter or the dime.
Okay.
And Eamon, what dates were you looking for?
6th and 7th?
August 6th and 7th.
And we'll ask the board just August 6th and 7th, but if we have to adjust, to allow us to make those adjustments as well.
Okay, do we have a motion? The board.
I'll make a motion to suspend parking control meter collection for the duration of the Park Street repaving project, which would apply to all metered parts of Adams.
Motion from Ann, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Christine. Further discussion?
I think it's a good way to encourage people to park on the side streets, to park on Summer Street, to park in different areas. And it gives community development an answer to people when they ask where they can park, when they can't park on Park Street for 2 days, that they can park on the various side streets and so forth. So.
Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Opposed? None. Unanimous decision. Next, request from the Board of Health Chair for liaison from Board of Selectmen. So received an email, Jay and I, in regard to, they're looking for a liaison from the Select Board. I'm just putting it out there. Is anyone on the board would like to be that liaison to the Board of Health and attend meetings as best as possible, then report back to this board with status?
I have a question, and through the chair. Now, are we doing away with liaisons now? Because usually when we have a new, we go through the liaison positions, who wants what. So is that gone now? We're not going to do that?
We haven't changed. This was Howard's. Howard was the liaison to the Board of Health, I believe. So everything else hasn't really changed since
okay, nothing has changed. Okay, I'd like to serve on the Board of Health as a liaison.
Anyone else? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Joe Novak to be the liaison for the Board of Health.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
And one abstention.
And I'm abstaining.
Okay, so it passes. Yep. All right, so we do have a liaison for that. Ratifications, we have, this is item E. Kelly Martinic, Financial Assistant in the Assessor's Department. Jay?
So there's a letter in your materials tonight from the principal assessor, as well as a memo from me. The financial assistant in the office of the assessor was once part-time. We had 2 part-time folks. At the request of the principal assessor, we combined those 2 positions to form one, so this is a full-time job. We interviewed 3 people for it, and Kelly is more than qualified for the position. So you have in front of you tonight a memorandum. I'll read Paula's for you. This letter is to seek the appointment of Ms. Kelly Martinic for the position of financial assistant in the office of the assessor for the town of Adams. Ms. Martinic is a dedicated, hardworking individual with experience in accounting as well as with computer and technology systems. Her problem-solving, communication, and organizational skills are welcome assets to the department. She's excited for this opportunity and is looking forward to serving the town of Adams. She'll be ratified at a grade 7, step 3, for an hourly rate of $23.05 an hour. pending successful completion of a background check and a pre-employment physical, which she has, and Kelly did start on Monday, July 1st, 2024. We were unable to get her in here before the previous board meeting. That department had not had an administrative assistant for some time. Ms. Wheeler was pulling double duty, as well as a few other folks in there, so that's why Kelly started before the ratification.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Kelly
Martinic.
Martinic, thank you, as the financial assistant in the assessor's department at a grade 7, step 3 rate of $23.05 an hour.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann, any further discussion?
Just one question to the town administrator. You said she has an extensive background. What did she do prior to this position?
She has a master's degree.
Yeah.
And then after that, she was in education for a period of time, switched and went into banking and accounting for a large bank over in the Saratoga, New York region. She moved back to the area, got into education, realized that she wanted to get out. She's a native of Adams. Her family's, that's her married name.
Yeah.
And that she'd like to start a career in municipal government. So she took a lot of time thinking about it, but she realized it was a great opportunity. So we were lucky to get her.
Yeah, well, it sounds good.
All right, anyone else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, unanimous decision. Next, we have Ryan Nolo, seasonal labor with the Department of Public Works. Jay.
So with Ryan's appointment, this will bring us up to 5 seasonal laborers, which is the maximum that we have budgeted for. We've gone through a few. They have not, due to the nature of the work, being outside. We've had quite a few young people this year. They didn't stick with it. So we'll give Ryan a shot and hope that he sticks with it. He too is working. We have a lot of vegetation. With the rain, the vegetation is growing. So with that, we're asking for a ratification for him for $18 hourly, which is the same as the other seasonal employees.
Thank you. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to ratify the appointment of Ryan Nolo as a seasonal laborer with the Department of Public Works at a rate of $18 an hour.
Motion by Christine, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, unanimous decision. Item F, we've been informed that we will not be voting on this individual this evening. The paperwork, whatever, is not ready. We will not take any action on item F. All right. So did I cover everything?
Yes.
Thank you. We haven't met in a while. I've been on a roll. All right, so next we have public comment. If anyone in the audience would like to approach the board, please do so. State your name and the street and your residence. Now, I have a reading policy that the board approved back in 2014. 3 of the members are here this evening that voted in the affirmative. And I have like this is our policy handbook. The board approved this. And I'd rather not have to read all this. I just want to make sure that we have a adult conversation. We have no debate.
Never have.
I'm not, right, of course. And that this is for everyone who's also watching and who plans on speaking in the future, that we have a good conversation and we ask good questions and no accusations, and that's what you'll receive.
I hope so.
Well, okay. All right, state your name and your address.
Eddie Winarski, 61 East Hoosick Street.
What can we do for you, sir?
This is my 3rd time here in 4 months. Do you know why I'm here?
We know why you're here.
You have no idea? How about you, Mr. Christian?
I said we know why you're here.
Huh? You have any idea why I'm here?
I do.
Why?
Because you're asking for the town of Adams to perform work on private property, and that's why the work hasn't, we're not going to debate this evening.
That road has always been taken care of.
There's no debate.
Always.
But can you prove that through legal counsel or through any paperwork or any drawings that.
Why did it took you this long to tell me this? What did you tell me the last meeting I was here, John? You remember what you said to me, your last words before I left?
Yeah, you said you know where I live. That's what you said.
No, I said, I'll give you my telephone number. You said, I know where you live. I'll get back to you after I talk to Tim. So you get back to me?
So what happens is.
Did you ever get back to me? I'm asking you a question. Did you ever get back to me?
There's no reason to raise your voice.
Did you ever get back to me?
Do not raise your voice. I'm going to call you out of order. We're not going to talk about this. Do not raise your voice.
Did you ever get back to me?
Thank you. All right, so what we did was we went and looked at legal counsel. We requested legal counsel to determine if the street itself was accepted by town meeting. And during the investigation that we did and that our attorney has done, the street, which I don't know what the name of the street is, really, you live on East Hoosick Street, right?
East Hoosick Street.
Right, that's East Hoosick, but that, I call it.
Consider East Hoosick Street.
I just see it as a driveway, but anyways, we investigated it, our town council investigated it, and it has not been, and through our town clerk's office, who keeps track of all of the town meeting actions, the street has not been accepted by the town of Adams. So we do not have to do any upkeep to that street, but we have.
Why in the past has it been?
Because the board.
Before Mr. Green got on board and Tim got on board, right, that road was always taken care of with gravel.
Yep, and
plowed.
Right, and again, don't raise your voice. We will work with you to work on that road to see what we can do, to do what we've done in the past, to smooth out that gravel road if we can communicate and work together, right? So I think we can.
Well, can I bring something up?
Okay, so that part of it, we can work with you.
I appreciate it very much.
Okay, good. So we can work on that.
I'd like to just make one comment.
And it cannot be derogatory, you cannot.
No.
Okay.
June 12th, I was coming into the Greylock Credit Union.
Yeah.
Department of Public Works was doing a job out here. They did a wonderful job.
Does it have to do with your street, what we're going to say right now?
Yes. Well, by all means.
Good.
Tim, the supervisor, was out there.
Yes.
I approached him. Told him my name. He says, oh, yeah, you're talking about the road off East Hoosick Street, the gravel road. I said, yeah, Tim. He says, be up there. Now, this is June 12th on a Wednesday. We'll be up there Thursday or Friday. That would have been June 13th, June 14th. What's the date today, may I ask?
Since then, we have worked with legal counsel, and we have.
Why would he tell me he'd be there Thursday or Friday?
We represent.
Everybody lies to me.
No one lied.
They're not telling me the truth. Why would you say?
I spoke with Mr. Cota after your conversation that I watched and observed from the driveway of this building, sir.
Yeah.
I spoke with him afterward, and he did not indicate that that's what he told you.
He told me that.
Reasons
he told me that.
All right, Mr. Bernowski, you're out of order. No,
don't tell me he did it. I'll take a lie detector's test.
You're out of order.
Yeah, he's out of order for telling me I'm a liar.
That's enough. Have a seat. Yeah, that's enough.
No, I'm not done. I've been waiting. You know how long I've been waiting for this, John?
The chair.
And these guys, it amazed me. I sat there and listened to everybody got their business taken care of today. Amazed me. This is the third month in 4 months I've been here, and this is what I get from you people.
Ed, are you still represented by Attorney Brennan, Mark Brennan?
Am I what?
Still represented by legal counsel.
It's none of your business.
Attorney Mark Brennan.
It's really none of your business.
Well, it is if you'd like something done, because it would be helpful for the town to speak to an attorney.
Yeah.
Because an attorney.
Are you going to take it?
So the town has done the investigation. Your street has not been accepted as far as we can tell.
John.
Legal counsel, you can come back to us.
You and I know,
right?
We know one another a long way.
Yeah.
Our family is everything, and this is the way you treat me.
This is Adams, man.
This is Adams.
We all know each other.
Yeah.
But we have to go by what this.
I remember my daughter took your son in when he was out of Boston.
Order. Okay.
Right?
Is there anything else? I guess that's the last agenda item, right?
Yeah.
Well, can I have a motion to a motion.
I have a question.
There was no deliberation, sorry, there's no deliberation.
It's not about this. I'm just asking, why has public comment gone from being on the top of the agenda to the end of the agenda? You've been here longer than I, and this is the first time I've seen it. It's almost like a point where you want to sequester people not to talk, to not encourage them to come because they'd have to wait. So, as the chairman who sets the agenda, why so?
It is up to the chair.
Yeah, but tell me your reason.
Well, you already seem to have stated what you feel about that, right?
No, you set the agenda. I want to see what you feel about
The
it.
chair's
I have
prerogative.
no problem, but I walked down in this rain 2 miles.
Yeah.
Walked in this rain, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
77 years old. For you people to backstab me. And for you, Mr. Green, to call me a liar that...
You're out of order, you're out
You
of,
tell me when you said, I'll be there on a Thursday or Friday.
You're out of
That's what
order.
you told me.
you're out of order.
And I hope the people watching this TV,
Yep.
all right? I talk to the people in the town of Adams, I do a lot of walking,
I know.
and I'll tell you,
Yeah.
they ain't got much to say about this town administrator and the way you're running things here at the Selectmen's Board, John.
That's fine, because we run it the way of,
Yeah, the way you want it run.
oh, regular,
Not the way the taxpayer wants it run.
we run it by
Roads
regulation.
are terrible. They patch them, they're like speed bumps.
The police, yeah, we're good, okay. We're going to call the police department to have you sit down. You're not sitting down per the chair's request.
You gotta call the police department.
Sit down, everything's fine. And I can,
Nothing wrong.
sit down, he does not listen to the chair. You must,
Listen, you guys don't listen to me.
let's have a seat,
All right, John?
have a seat.
I've been going for 3 years, and 4 months with you, and this is all I get. John, I'll remember this. I'll remember this, John.
Hold on.
Yeah?
You can have a seat?
I'm leaving.
All right, good.
All right? You're gonna call the police on me, a taxpayer. Been up here for over 70 years, taking care of that property.
Right.
Your mother-in-law and father-in-law don't even wanna go up there because the road is so bad.
Seat, Mr. Winarski.
This is Jay Green.
Have a seat, Mr. Winarski.
Officer over to Town Hall.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Please.
Let him take me out, John.
Oh, I just need, I have a meeting.
Doors are unlocked.
I have a meeting to run.
Thanks, I appreciate
All
it.
right?
Thank you very much for your help.
Yeah, and I'm sorry the way this turned out.
And I see how they treat you here. I see how they treat you.
And the problem too is,
I'm going to take a adjournment for 5 minutes.
Yeah.